Indeed, you are tuned to 90.7 KSER and 89.9 KXIR, and you've tuned in at the perfect time because we are joined right now by our special guests, Randy Norris and Jeff Nicely. How you doing today, guys?
Doing great. How about you?
We are doing fantastic today, and again, thank you so much for making the time to come and hang out with us, and we'll talk about why you're here in just a few minutes, but how about we get right into some music?
Let's do. Well, I just want to start by saying support your local radio station.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us here. This is a thing called Evil Days. Evil days done gotten me down, made my life a thing of sin and misery. Evil days done gotten me down, made my life a thing of sin and misery. I lost my money, I believe these blues gonna be the death of me. Well, there's a cold wind blowing across my back, my shoes are full of holes. Well, there's a cold wind blowing across my back, my shoes are full of holes. I'm lost, I can't seem to find my way back home. My shoes are full of holes. There's a cold wind blowing across my back and my shoes are full of holes. I'm lost, I cannot seem to find my way home. Yeah, if you be the one, love to throw those dice and drink. Before you fall on evil days like me, you better stop and think. Evil days got me down, they made my life a thing of sin and misery. I lost my money, I believe these blues gonna be the death of me. Yeah, these evil days, these evil days. Well, these evil days, these evil days. Sin and misery.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the real deal right there. Randy Norris and Jeff Nicely. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, guys. Now, Misters Norris and Nicely are in town promoting a show this weekend. It's the Arlington Arts Council's Legend of the Blues 2 show. It features an all-star cast of some of the best of the Washington blues scene. Besides Randy and Jeff, there's also going to be Patty Allen, Jim McLaughlin with Donna Marie McMillan, the Mark Riley Trio, the C.D. Woodbury Band, and Blues Playground. All of that at the Burns Performing Arts Center in Arlington on Saturday, November 22nd, beginning at 7 p.m. So let's start there. How did you guys get involved with this program?
Well, about a year and a half ago, let's go back to the history here. The Arlington Arts Council, knowing me to be a local blues musician in the Arlington area, they contacted me with an interest of featuring blues as a part of their seasonal concerts. And so the palette was wide open for me as to what to do with that. And in consultation with Tony Fredrickson with the Washington Blues Society, we decided to organize a show of the Hall of Fame award winners and the Lifetime Achievement Award winners from the Washington Blues Society. And so last December, we featured Little Bill and the Blue Notes, Leslie Milton on drums, Patty Allen, Nick Vigorino, Mark Whitman, Alice Stewart, Fat James, Paul Green, Lee Oscar, Chris Layton.
Some big names.
Yeah. And we did well to fill a lot of seats. Close to the most seats that the Arts Council has had in this fine facility, and they're supported by the City of Arlington Hotel and Motel Tax, a grant to help put on these concerts, and the interest, of course, is trying to draw regionally, and of course with that lineup,
sure.
That it helped accomplish that. And also the Burns Performing Arts Center isn't as well known of a fine performing arts music venue as it should be, and so that was part of my motivation also to bring high quality concert music and the blues especially to Arlington and to this facility that holds 650 people, just built during the past decade. And so we did so well. They said, "Let's do it again," and I said, "Sure, I'll help."
Fantastic.
And we kept the Legends of the Blues branding, if you will, returning Patty Allen and Mark Riley, who was a part of the show last year as well. Patty Allen, long history in this region with the blues. Mark Riley this year became an award winner of Hall of Fame and Lifetime Achievement Award, and last year, won all 3 of the guitar awards, which is unprecedented for the Washington Blues Society. And then rounded it out with C.D. Woodbury Band, who I know has been on your station before, and the Arts Council wanted some local flavor, so I took liberty. Randy and myself live in Arlington, and also my band, Blues Playground, with a group of fine players, Sean Denton, Richard Williams, Jeffrey Morgan, and James Clark. So with Sean and I living in the Arlington area, and we've rounded out that the program for this year.
Now the proceeds from this event go to the Arlington Arts Council. Do you have any idea what types of programs are funded by the council?
Yeah, I certainly do. The emphasis is on public art. The Arlington Arts Council invests funds that they raise through these concerts into providing the Arlington community with public art displays. And so along Centennial Trail downtown, you can see a lot of what this effort has contributed to the cultural milieu of the town of Arlington.
Yeah, because I always think it's important to let people know those things, so they know when they go to Arlington, they see those things. Events like this is what help them happen.
Yep.
So if you enjoy those types of things, you like seeing those types of things, get involved to support your local live music scene and the art scene in general in whatever city you're in. Now, I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about your history. How did you guys meet? How did you come to play together?
Well, I was a member of a band called Blues Therapy, and Randy became known to us as he began in the late 90s, mid 90s to perform in this region, and Blues Therapy was interested in his services. So, but we've been playing together since the turn of the century, I'd like to say, and had a very fine run with the band Blues Therapy playing in the region.
Now, both of you are very accomplished musicians, and you could, if you chose, perform any genre of music that you wanted to. And I know you both have worked in other genres other than blues. What is it about the blues that keeps bringing you back to it?
It's honest expression. It's playing what you feel, and I think that's why most of us got into this to begin with, to express ourselves and and play what we feel. We've a lot of us have played in top 40 bands. That's what we used to call it. What is top 40? It's different now than it was when I was a kid.
That's for sure.
I mean,
that's for sure.
I remember 50s and 60s, the top 40 station, the top 10 could have a country song, a rock song, a blues tune, a easy listening song, all in the top 10. And usually it was all good stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, you could get Elvis, Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters, all in the same set.
That's right.
That's
right.
They're all from the same thing.
There's only one kind of music. Good music.
Exactly. There you go. I am all for that. Well, all right. Speaking of good music, you guys ready to give us another song?
Sure. We'd like to do something right now that seems appropriate for the ambiance you've created here, the Sunlit Room, a little thing called Henry.
Perfect.
Remember, if you can, when cotton was picked by hand, down in Dixie under southern skies, working from sun to sun. Remember, if you will, white lightning from a whiskey still, and the blues in the breeze, magnolia trees, a little church house up on the hill. I can hear the Delta calling me from the light of a distant star. I can see my future, I can hear my past when Henry played that steel guitar. Won't you take me back in time? Free me from this crime. Well, I have no shame, I have no blame. It's time to be moving on. I can hear the Delta calling from the light of a distant star. I can see my future, I can hear my past when Henry played that steel guitar. I can hear the Delta calling from the light of a distant star. I can see my future, I can hear my past when Henry played that steel guitar.
Randy Norris and Jeff Nicely live here in the Sunlit Room. And you'll be able to hear that and a whole lot more this Saturday night, November 22nd, Legend of the Blues 2 at the Burns Performing Arts Center in Arlington, Washington. Sounds like it's going to be an absolutely fantastic time. Now, the blues community, especially here in the state of Washington, is a very close-knit and a very giving group. There are fundraisers on a regular basis, and I'm sure you guys are approached many, many times a year to lend your time and talents to these different causes. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about how you make the decisions of what you're going to be able to do and what you're just not going to be able to do.
Well, for me personally, I want to be as giving as I can, and I want it to be a good cause and be vouched for by people that I trust. But yeah, it's you got to give something back.
Yeah, because I was going to say, unfortunately, there are a lot of unscrupulous people out there that know that it's a very giving group of people, and so they kind of tend to take advantage of you guys sometimes. I like hearing you say that, you really do your due diligence and make sure that it's someone you know you can trust, because it always breaks my heart when such talented musicians like yourself give up your time and talent, and then the money doesn't go where you were told it was going to go. It goes into somebody's pocket, which unfortunately happens way more than it should, even in a great place like the state of Washington.
Administrative costs.
That's for sure. You've heard that line before, have you? Oh my goodness.
Well, and the following weekend, we're part of the SNOHOMISH Blues Invasion, which is a benefit for the Washington Blues Society, and their sending of their representatives to the International Blues Challenge in Memphis. And Randy and I represented the Blues Society 2 years in a row, and made the semifinals of that wonderful event down in Memphis. And so to give back that way, because we've been beneficiaries of this before too.
Yeah, and I just wanted to let folks know, now that you mentioned it, that's going to take place Sunday, November 30th. It's First in Union in Snohomish, right?
That's where we will be.
Several clubs. There's a joint cover.
Oh, we don't care about the rest of them. We just want to know where you are.
Well, no, it's a
I'm
joint,
kidding, folks. We
joint
love you
cover
all.
charge. And so there'll be acts at several venues up and down the main drag there.
That's fantastic.
And all the proceeds will go to supporting acts that have won the right to go represent their local blues society in Memphis. Now, I'm going to be going there as a member of the Randy Oxford Band this year.
Fantastic.
We went to Eugene, Oregon, and won the competition there. So we're actually representing Rainy Day Blues Society, but we're all just one big happy family
With the blues.
and we've got a GoFundMe program going for the Randy Oxford Band to try and help us get some expenses to make it to Memphis. So here's your chance to give back to us, you guys.
There you
we
go.
appreciate it.
There you go. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, both of you guys have had a fairly long careers. You've been musicians for 30 plus years. At this point in your career, is it still as exciting to play for those awards as it was earlier in your career?
Well, certainly, yeah. I mean, it's different. It has a different flavor now. We don't play for those awards.
For sure.
And we appreciate the recognition that for example, our nominations in the Best of the Blues award scene is much appreciated to be recognized by the fans of the blues in the region. But it's an expression. As Randy said earlier, it's an expression. It's coming naturally to us just to play the music, and without worry about without worrying about that recognition, without giving that priority.
It's therapy.
With no couches, so that's a good thing. Now, I was wanting to ask as well, as two gentlemen that have been inside the industry for quite a while, this trend of blues CDs, unless it's Joe Bonamassa, the music just doesn't seem to sell as well as it had in the past. But yet clubs and theaters across this country are sold out every night with blues bands out there plying their trade. Any thoughts on why that might be? I mean, obviously the music is very beloved, but for some reason it's not being bought at the rate it used to be.
Well, people can grab downloads of music very easily, and of course, as a teaser, if you've got a new record, you're gonna let people download a track or two for free, just to try and entice them into buying more tracks. But it's easy for them to obtain copies of the music, and times are tight, you know.
Now, is it, for you guys, and I know you can only speak for yourselves, is it worth it to give that music away for free to get the extra, 15 to 20 people buying tickets to the shows? Or is it hurtful financially to have to give that money away to get people to hear it?
No, I think especially playing in the clubs, we get hired to play the clubs because we put butts in the seats.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if you can provide that that opportunity for the fans of our music to hear what we do, to motivate them to get to the clubs. Our website has our Randy and my the Randy Norris and Jeff Nicely full CD on our website. Randy Norris and Jeff Nicely.webs.com. And
so go check that out.
Yeah, and it's where you can find our list of performances and some video from our performance down at the IBCs. So it's my interest is just getting exposure, and
yeah,
which it's always more interesting to play with more a full house.
Yeah, I imagine that's
and
true.
on the next record we'll give away one track for free, but the other 9 we expect you to pony up.
There you go. Because I imagine anyone that's had the career that you gentlemen have had and have stuck with it as long as you have, it's not about the money and never was. The money's nice, but it's all about the music for you guys, or you wouldn't have stuck with it this long, I'm sure. Now, over the years of playing, you've both met a lot of people, played with hundreds, maybe thousands of different musicians. What was the best advice you ever got when you were a young musician?
Probably what Muddy Waters said to me. Son, if you ain't got no feeling, you're just wasting your breath.
Yeah, and when Muddy says it, you got to listen.
Yes.
He was the master.
And for me, it was advice I got was don't get stuck in one genre. And I've enjoyed for years playing a variety of styles of music, and while my heart's in the blues, I was early influenced by my father's record collection, my brother's record collections. I've never wanted to be pigeonholed as just a blues man, although that's where most of my performing time is. But it's I enjoy playing all sorts of styles.
Now, at this point in your careers, how often do you just pick up the guitar to practice or just to play for fun?
Every chance I get.
It's still your passion even after all these years, huh?
Yes, and
awesome.
And you book gigs because that pushes you to the level of having to step up and deliver in front of people, and it's good brain exercise. You got to come up with something on the spot in many slices of time during a performance.
All right. Well, we're getting dangerously close to being out of time, and before I let you guys get out of here, I got to get one more song out of you if I can. So, what do you say, guys?
Sure, and please come on out to the Legends of the Blues 2 show Saturday, November 22nd. This Saturday, 7:00. My good friend Jim McLaughlin is going to be kicking off the show with solo harmonica. That's world champion Jim McLaughlin from Everett, and then Randy and I'll take the stage and we'll take it from there, and with the lineup that we mentioned earlier.
And we're going to do one that goes way back, and back to the days of being in Jack Mack and the Heart Attack, but got a little bit different version. This will just be solo acoustic, a little thing from the late, great Sam Cooke called A Change Is Gonna Come. river in a little tent like the river. I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. I know it will. I've been too tired living, but I am afraid to die. I don't know what's out there. Beyond the sky, it's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. I know it will. Sometimes I go to my brother, and I say, Mother, please. And it winds up knocking me down on my knees. There were times when I thought I could not last for long, but now I think I'm finally able. I found the strength to carry on. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change gonna come. I know it will.
Randy Norris, Jeff Nicely in town here today promoting Saturday night's show, Legends of the Blues 2 at the Burns Performing Arts Center in Arlington. Again, its showtime is 7 p.m. You can get tickets at the door. it sounds like it's going to be a great time. Gentlemen, thank you again so much for making the time to stop by and visit with us today.
Thanks for the invitation, man.
And,
Thanks for having us.
it was definitely our
Support
pleasure.
your local radio station, everybody.
See, that's even better. We love this guy. Now, just before I say goodbye for good, though, I did want to ask you one thing. We talked about it a little bit before we went on the air, and you just mentioned it before you played that last song, and that is that you were a part of Jack, Mack, and the Heart Attack for a little while. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what that experience was like, and what years were you part of the band?
Well, as Jeff alluded to earlier, in the late 90s, I moved up to Seattle area from Southern California. Had moved there in the 80s from Colorado, where I had been doing a number of things, had a band with horns, and heard about those guys, so was listening to them, was playing some of their tunes, and doing a lot of the old catalog, the old Memphis Stax stuff, the old Wilson Pickett, and in that bag. And so when I moved to Southern California, I went out to one of their gigs and struck up a conversation with them. Bill Bergman, the de facto band leader, sax player, happened to be from Kansas City, which is my neck of the woods. I'm from Wichita. And so we had, I ended up having a lot of mutual friends. And the next thing I knew, I was in the studio with them, doing some backup vocals. They would hire session people for backup vocals and whatnot quite a bit, and did that several times, and then ended up subbing for Andrew Kastner, the other founding member, the guitar player, and so did some gigs with them, and it was a joy. Played some all kinds of different venues, Hollywood, motion picture studios, rap parties, and they had some good casuals. They had picked up some good gigs, and they placed most of their songs in movie soundtracks and TV soundtracks.
Were you on any of those recordings that we've heard in the movies? Or do you even know which ones they put in there?
A movie called Vamp. They had a song placed in there. Archie Bunker had a TV show, In the Heat of the Night.
Oh, right.
A tune called Living It Up was on there.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm on the record, Jack It Up.
Jack it up. Well, there you go, folks. So a long legacy of the blues here for both Mr. Norris and Mr. Nicely, and it'll all culminate with a fantastic show this Saturday night at the Burns Performing Arts Center. Once again, thank you, gentlemen. We really do appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
My pleasure.